I met Elise in high school. She had this impossible glow, like moonlight trapped in human form. Her laughter, light and lilting, could silence the noise of the world. But what truly bound me to her were her eyes, so radiant, so deep, that staring into them felt like glimpsing eternity. By the time we finished college, I was already certain she was the one. I proposed under a sky full of stars, her yes sounding like a melody written just for me. For years we dreamed of a future, of a little cottage in the woods, kids, dogs, slow Sunday mornings. But dreams can rot. And sometimes the rot begins in silence. It started subtly after we moved in together. Elise would twitch in her sleep, whispering unintelligible things in a voice that wasn't hers. I chalked it up to stress. Her parents had passed, and grief does strange things. But soon, she stopped sleeping altogether. At night, I'd find her standing at the foot of our bed, her back to me, motionless, silent. Or I'd catch her in the hallway, facing the wall, mumbling in a guttural rasp. One night, I woke to find her grinning at me, eyes wide open. "Do you love me?" she asked, her voice flat, lips barely moving. "I always will," I whispered, shaking. She laughed, but it wasn't her laugh. It was layered, like two voices echoing at once, one hers, the other low and ancient. Then she crawled back under the sheets as though nothing had happened. Things spiraled quickly. Objects moved on their own. I'd find crosses flipped upside down. The dog ran away, tail between his legs, refusing to come back, and every mirror in the house shattered. Always at exactly 3:17 a.m., I begged her to see someone. She refused. Then one night I heard screams, not from Elise but from inside her, as if a whole choir of agony had found residence in her chest. Her eyes rolled back. She vomited nails, actual rusted nails. It was then I knew this wasn't Elise anymore. Something had taken her. I sought help, not from doctors but from a priest, a retired exorcist named Father Callahan. He warned me, "If you want her back, you may lose yourself trying." But I had to try, because I still loved her, even if what looked like Elise now slept in shadows and spoke in tongues. We chose the church where we'd first planned to get married, the irony of it somehow fitting. On the day, guests filled the pews, but there were no smiles, no music, only silence, heavy and expectant. I stood at the altar in a black suit, trembling. The doors opened. Elise walked in, guided by two men, her former cousins, now pallbearers of her soul. She wore white, but not the soft, pearly white of a wedding gown. Her dress was old, yellowed with age, torn at the hem, and stained with something brown, like dried blood. Her face twitched as she stepped forward. Her eyes met mine, empty, hollow. But I saw it then for a split second. Elise was still in there, trapped, screaming behind those eyes. I nodded to Father Callahan, and to the men in the front pew. Before she could flee, we pinned her to the altar. She thrashed, unearthly shrieks filling the air as her skin seemed to ripple like boiling water. Her fingers clawed at nothing, her mouth spewing curses and ancient tongues. The priest wrapped her arms and legs in chains, blessed chains, forged in a convent long since abandoned. Her head snapped back, her spine arched. She hissed at the crucifix in his hand, her eyes bleeding black tears. "Ego te exorcizo!" the priest began, his voice firm. The Latin prayers echoed, growing louder as Elise's body convulsed violently. She levitated, only inches but enough to make the pews groan and the candles flicker. She looked right at me, and for a heartbeat, her lips quivered. "Help me!" That's all I needed. I stepped forward, took her hand in mine. "I'm not letting you go," I whispered, even as her flesh burned under the holy chains. "I want my wife back." Her body jolted. The lights in the church exploded, plunging everything into darkness. Then, silence. When the candles flickered back to life, Elise was lying limp. Her chest rose and fell, and her eyes, when they opened, were hers again. We buried the chains beneath the altar that night. No one speaks of what happened. We married quietly the following month, just us two. But sometimes in the dead of night I still hear something faint. Whispers. A scratch on the wall, a voice that isn't quite Elise's. And when I ask if she's okay, she smiles, too widely.